white-bearded gnus, so called because of their distinctive chin whiskers. There are presently 14 males and 24 females in the herd, and every spring brings about a dozen new calves. Because of its odd appearance, the gnu has been the subject of a lot of jokes over the years. Keeper Rick Cliff can understand the reason for the jokes, but he also appreciates the animal's impressive survival record.
As you can see behind me, we have the majority of our herd of common wildebeest or white-bearded gnu here at the East African exhibit at the Wild Animal Park. These animals have an odd appearance, and in former times they were described as having the front quarters of an ox, the hind quarters of an antelope, and the tail of a horse. They are also called the old fools of the veld because of their very curious appearance, especially the look of their face and their body style. The wildebeest have done real well in captivity, and they still thrive in the wild. They migrate in herds of tens of thousands across the Serengeti plains of Africa.
The migrations are spurred by the need for food and water, and sometimes cover 1,000 miles. Always alert for rain showers in the distance, the herds move in any direction that offers the possibility of finding tender new grasses. The search for food in the wild sometimes involves unintentional teamwork among different animal species. Flocks of egrets chaperone herds of gnus so they can feed off the bugs that the 500-pound grazing animals kick up. Gnus and zebras form mixed herds on the plains. Though they feed off the same kinds of grass, they don't compete because the animals prefer the grass at different stages of growth. The two different species help each other detect common enemies. Hyenas are at their most dangerous hunting in packs, but a solitary hyena won't hesitate to go after a young gnu if it spots one apart from the main herd. An adult gnu takes on the hyena briefly. It's long enough to give the baby gnu time to get away. And the hyena quits the chase. Every spring, the herds of gnus are generously sprinkled with young ones at play, for all the calves are born within a few days of each other, and they all grow up together. Through their antics, they quickly build strong legs, their best defense against predators. In captivity, gnus follow the same breeding pattern, with the result that every spring at the park, everywhere you look, there's another baby gnu.
Here at the Wild Animal Park, we've had 145 births since 1971. These animals use a reproductive strategy which is quite unusual. They have a strategy which we call breeding and calving synchrony. Every year, within 2 weeks of one another, all the females come into estrus at the same time, and consequently they're all bred at the same time, and in the springtime they all calve at the same time. And this affords the animal safety in numbers. This way the predators get a few of the calves, but most of them survive.
This female gnu is about to deliver her calf, and we'll get a candid look at the remarkable event. She's picked a spot near other members of the herd for safety's sake, just as she would do in the wild. If there were danger nearby, she has the ability to stall the onset of labor for 48 hours. The cow's powerful contractions begin to expel the calf from the uterus, front legs first. The delivery goes quickly, nature's way of minimizing the time mother and calf are so vulnerable. By getting up, the mother-to-be makes gravity a partner in the job of breaking the umbilical cord. Then, with the calf nearly all of the way out, the cow resettles herself for the final stage. The mother immediately begins to clean away the placenta, an instinctual act. In the wild, the afterbirth would draw scavengers and endanger the calf. Every calf has two ways to stay in touch with its real mother.
Most hoof stock use a visual imprinting system whereby the mother and calf get to know one another by sight. The wildebeest uses this, but it also uses a vocal imprinting system. And the mother and calf will vocalize, and they know one another's voice. And if lost from one another, they can find one another by vocalizing. And it's a low moaning grunt that they use.
Remaining in a defenseless position very long in the wild would be foolhardy. So only minutes after being born, the calf is ready to try walking. On all fours for the first time, things feel a bit top-heavy, but it won't be long before the calf has the hang of it. Keepers rope the calf in order to tag it with a permanent ID, and the mother's response is instantaneous. Since all the calves are born within a few days of each other, the only way to avoid mix-ups is to catch and identify each newcomer as soon as it is mobile, and give it back its freedom when the job is done. The apparent crisis is over, and mother can't drag her calf away soon enough. A herd with young calves in it needs extra protection, and these adult gnus are providing it.
Here at the Wild Animal Park and in the wild, these wildebeest used a sentry system in protection of the herd. In feeding, drinking, just even in resting, the animals will position themselves so as several members on the perimeter of the herd will be sentries. No matter what they're doing, they will be watching out for odd things happening in their environment, whether it be predators or whatever. And these animals are on sentry duty. They're actually watching out for any problems that might happen.
The white-bearded gnu or wildebeest has been adept at surviving both in the wild and in captivity. One of its keys to success is the way newborn animals are able to quickly stand on their own. Going strictly by appearances, it's possible to joke about the gnu's hodgepodge of features: a buffalo's head, a billy goat's beard, a zebra's stripes, and a horse's tail. But judging by its highly successful performance out on the African plains and here at the Wild Animal Park, you'd have to give the last laugh to the white-bearded gnu.